Hello everyone, this is Helen H. and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope you all are doing well today. I have a fun little project today and it is making clusters, but it is making larger clusters. And I wanted to show in this video how I make clusters and how to make it easier to make clusters. We can get out all of our stuff and sit for hours and make 3 clusters. But if you want them for like, a journal, or you're making a whole bunch of journals to sell or something, and you need a whole bunch of clusters, or you just want to restock your own stash so that when you make your journals, you have stuff to pull from, making them slowly like that is not always beneficial. So this is the idea I came up with. I've always kind of used a little bit of a formula, and don't take that the wrong way. Let me show you what I've done first. Let me show you. These are larger clusters, and I just call them clusters really. Clusters or collage. It's just several layers of different paper, and most of these I have put on a heavier background. This is just a piece of manila folder here, all scraps. So let me show you the ones that I've done here. So, these can be tuck spots for journals, or they could, if you use a plain back like this, they can actually be used as tags. But okay, so there's this one here, and this one, and this one. And I love this one. I just embellished it with one of these little Tim Holtz flower garland things, and it just turned out so pretty. Then there's this one here. And these are all kinds of papers I have, and I'll show you kind of what I did here. There's that one. This one. This one's actually on a piece of some kind of brown cardboardy wrap. It looked like packing material. There's this one. This one. And this one. So this says, he hath made him to be sin for us who knew no sin. I love it. Okay, so all of these have, besides the backing piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Oh, 5 main elements. The smaller little stuff I did not count, okay? All of them have at least 4 pages and then some kind of focal point. Let's put it that way. And see how they're all the same size, okay? And they all look pretty uniform. This is the secret, okay? This is what I did. I went ahead and used a 4x6 index card, all right? And I labeled that number 1. And I cut out, well, no, I tore out actually 12 pieces. These are 9 that are finished here, and we'll make some together, okay? So I tore out 9 pieces or 12 pieces of paper that were approximately 4x6. Then I took, let me move my finished cards to the side. Then I took some kind of like writing paper or paper with a pattern or print on it or something. And, oh, that's where the extra one came in. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. And then I made 12 of these, and these ones are, oh no, I'm sorry. These are the same. These are the same as this. I'm sorry. These are the same as this, because these are going to cover these. These backboard pieces are just to give the cards a little more structure, okay? And all my backing pieces are like vintage cardboard and stuff like that, and plain on the back, so that if you want to journal on the back, you can do that. So I have one more. What did I do with it here? I must have counted wrong. There is the other one right there. Okay. So I made 3 pieces of black and white script, black and white pictures. This is from a shorthand book. This is a part of a pattern paper. So some kind of black and white kind of printy thing. That was the next layer. Okay, so here's the backing board, then that's the print layer. Then I cut out 12 pieces of like ledger paper or paper that had just basic like shapes on it, okay, or geometrics on it. And so here in this one you can see I used some ledger paper, okay. Then I cut out or tore out 12 pieces. Now this is Tim Holtz wallpaper from his wallpaper pack, but you could just as easily use cardstock. And these ones I made even smaller. Each one of these cards is 1/2 inch shorter all the way around, okay? So each one is a 1/2 inch shorter all the way around. So then I did wallpaper. And then I did another one, okay, which is a 1/2 inch shorter all the way around. And I did either music or some kind of lightweight kind of see-through type paper. And this is just what I picked, okay? If you want to go further, I went again. This is a 2x4 now, and that would be the smallest layer, the 5th layer. But since I'm using focal points and my focal points are fairly large, I chose in this instance not to use the 5th layer. But so that's what I did. These were my guides. So when I'm cutting or tearing out the paper and I just, lay the ruler down and tear, this is my guides kind of to what size, even if I freehand tear it. Sometimes you when you're doing this, you tear and then you find your piece too big, then you tear it and you make it too small. So I think just having a template like that, tearing out a whole bunch of paper like this and then putting them together makes it so much easier, so much easier. So what I would do is take a piece of the backing paper like this, take one of the script papers like this, take one of these papers, layer it on top. Now that backing paper you may or may not see a little bit depending on how big you tore the, if your one above it is a little bit bigger than it. But see right here you can see the little corner, but I don't mind because I like seeing all the layers. And in this one here you can actually see where this was ripped, this old paper. So this is the manila file folder on the back, and so is this here. So that doesn't bother me because for me, when you make clusters or collage, as many layers as possible is good. So then we've got our geometric kind of paper. Then I'm going to take a piece of my wallpaper, or like I said, you could easily use scrapbook paper and then put that on, and then a piece of some kind of plainer paper, but I like to go with something that you can kind of see through. Okay, and there you go. There's one right there. Now I'm just going to put these 3 together and then I'll show you how I actually assemble them. So then here we go. The cardstock, again, this one is actually a piece of manila folder. So I'm going to put that on. I'm going to use this piece of ledger paper. I'm going to use this wallpaper here. And then I am going to use this see-through. I think this one here might actually be typing paper. Okay. And then the last one, just the back, the pattern print, some ledger paper. And when I tore out 12 of each of these, I used, I picked from all different kinds of paper, so they're not all exactly the same. Then I have my wallpaper, and then in this one, I'm using music paper as the center, okay? So here are my 3 right here, okay? So all I did was I used a glue stick. We'll just do one together here. Now what I found was to use the glue stick on the most porous or the most textured paper. Now this is very fragile paper here, so I'm not going to use the glue stick on that. However, I know that it would stick on that, but I'm just going to go ahead and put the glue stick on this one here. If you're using, I'll show you when you use the wallpaper, you have to put the glue stick on the wallpaper. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead. I hope I'm in screen here. Let me push that one up here. There we go. And sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm in my alternate craft room and the light's terrible here. I do have a ring light that I will try to remember to bring, but I have an issue with it. It heats up, the battery thing heats up really hot, and I'm not so happy with that. It's a USB ring light, and I'm just not sure why it heats up the battery pack so hot. Okay, so here goes the writing paper, and see, this one I'm doing right here, the lines are horizontal instead of vertical the way they should be. Is that right? No, they're vertical instead of horizontal the way they should be for writing, but it doesn't matter, okay? It's just a layer. Now, here's the wallpaper, and if you're going to use the Tim Holtz wallpaper or any other wallpaper, I suggest putting the glue stick on the wallpaper because it's going to get down into all the little nooks and crannies of the texture, because if you don't, I'm afraid it would just lift right back off again. So if you do it this way, you know you're getting a good amount of glue into all the texture so that it will stick nicely, okay? So there we go, we've got that one. And then lastly, we've got this little piece of tissue paper here. Again, I'm going to glue on the wallpaper because the front is textured also. So I'm just going to do that and then put this on here like that. Now, if some of the edges are sticking up a little bit or whatever, that doesn't bother me, okay? If I want to use this as a tag and I know it's going to go in and out of a pocket or, you know, whatever, I might go back and re-glue everything. But I actually like the texture on these, and I do have a project in mind for these, so I don't mind having the texture. So let's go ahead and go on, and I'll show you the process to do the other. So then basically it is just finding a focal point to go on the card. So, or on the front of your card thing or whatever. So I have over here, I opened Pandora's box here. This is Tim Holtz, a bunch of Tim Holtz stuff and other various sundry things, but see, something like that is very pretty on here. Sometimes you get these big ones and you don't know what to do with them. Well, making bigger clusters like this, but that's pretty too. Now I'm looking at the other one that I have up here to see which one I like better on that one. Now I think I'll go with the color on this one because it's got the pink. So I think I will go ahead and go with this one. Now this, you know, these Tim Holtz die cuts are a little bit heavier because they are, actually, you know what? This is not a Tim Holtz die cut. I'm looking at the back of this. This particular one is a Victorian die cut that came out of a scrapbook, because I've got tons of those too. So I'm just going to use, because it's cardstock, you know, I like to use a liquid glue instead of just the glue stick. Paper to paper just, you know, is fine with the glue stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick it on like that. Now see how easy it was to make the basic cluster here. When you have the papers already torn out to the sizes that you want, you can just layer them up together. And did you notice I didn't even stop and think, and I wasn't rearranging the layers. I just took them as they came and put them on. And guys, I did that with all of these, and there's not a single one of these that I'm wish I had done differently. I think that this is really pretty this way. So I've got this on here, and I'm just trying to get a little bit of this extra glue off. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's see, we're at 14. Let me go ahead. No, I'm going to go ahead and finish this one. So there it is. So, I mean, that's a basic cluster right there, or a basic collage right there. You've got the blank back for writing if you want to. But I wanted to go ahead, and on all of these, I added either a little word or something else just to make it a little bit more than just something stuck on the front like this. So let me just take a look and see through this stuff, this whole bunch of stuff that I have here. if there's anything that I might want to stick on top. Now I've got this little butterfly, but he's really he's too bright. I don't like him. He was a punch that I had punched out. Oh, here's the word joy. We might use that, so I'm just going to pull that aside. Let's see here. I don't want to take forever. I really kind of do like that joy. Let me just take a look. I also have this big envelope stuffed with all kinds of little ephemera. Some is Tim Holtz. Some is I ordered online. Yeah, it just kind of came from everywhere. You know, I think I'm just going to go with joy on this one. I don't want to overcomplicate it. And this Victorian flower is so pretty. This little bouquet here. So joy is just typed on paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on here. And I'll give you a little tip about that too. And I think I'm just going to put it right here. Now, when I do clusters like this, I like to make it so that like ends go over the layers, and like this joy is going through all the layers to this back one, kind of tying it all together. So see how fast that was? Just pick, stick them on, put a focal point on, and then if you want to add, all kinds of other little bits and pieces, you can. So that's my tip to you guys, is to be able to make, and you can use this for small clusters as well as big clusters. It doesn't matter, medium size, it doesn't matter. Most people use the same amount of layers in their clusters. This is just a way to help you gauge the size, to rip the papers, pre-rip them. I mean, these are so beautiful, and they really did not take me long at all. And I know if I did each one individually, I'd still be working on them. It would have taken me forever. But I just wanted to give you one extra quick tip here. When we're tearing papers and such, for the backgrounds or whatever, we get these strips of book page. This is actually, I think, from the edge of the music sheet or something like that. You get these strips of paper that are yellowed, but there's no writing on them. Save them, because that is what I use to stamp the joy, the love. I think I have hope here, faith. And this one here is just the number 3, and there happen to be 3 butterflies. And this one I stamped out figure 1. So save these little end pieces here, and then just use them to stamp extra things on. You can see here I've got a whole bunch of numbers here that I've typed or stamped up. And I've used most of the words, but I've got all these little things. And they're fun little additions, and they're absolutely free because you're just using the scrap pieces of paper edging. Also, when you're tearing these pieces down, like these bigger pieces that I used for these, I have a little container. It's just a plastic food container from something. And I just put all the edges and scraps and stuff in here. So now this is ready to go for me to make small clusters. I can just grab the bigger pieces, start tearing a whole pile of them up in different sizes. And I've got my whole fodder here to start making small clusters if I want to do that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead and finish off those other 2 off camera. You know how to glue, and basically that's all I'm going to be doing. But I really hope that you enjoyed this, and that this is something that you might want to try working on, or when you work on clusters or collages again, to do it this way by tearing all your background pieces in varying sizes and then just gluing them together. So I hope that helped. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. And until the next video, I hope you're all truly blessed. Bye-bye.